Hello viewers, in this video we are going to see an important data type called tuple. It's an immutable data type where you cannot modify any of its elements after creation. It's otherwise called as read-only list, and the main difference between list and tuple is that in list you can insert, update and delete some elements after creation, whereas in tuple after creation you cannot modify any of its elements. Let us see how to create a tuple. This can be done simply using this statement: tuple variable equal to, within this parenthesis you have to give the set of elements separated by commas. Now this tuple gets initialized and afterwards you can display it. Let us see how the tuple gets displayed. So whenever your tuple is displayed, it will always be displayed within the parenthesis. And the second statement has some elements of mixed data types, not only the same data type elements. You can initialize a tuple with integer, string and float. Mixed data types can also be given, and if you display you have this 10 Python 9.7. And another example, the same case, if you want to display the type of the tuple, you can just give type of this tuple variable. You can get this class tuple. We can see the difference that this is an object of the class tuple. And this is another statement where you are giving some value within the parenthesis, and in this case only one element 10 is given. This element will not get stored as a tuple, whereas it will be stored as an integer. This is the output of this corresponding statement. In the sense, if you give only one value within the parenthesis, that will not be treated as a tuple, rather it will be treated as an integer object. And another example, if you want to still make it as a tuple, then you have to insert comma after the single element. In this case, print tuple1 will display this. In the output also you will have 10 followed by comma, and the type of this tuple1 is now tuple and instead of integer. This is how the data types are assigned if you give different types of values for the tuples. We can create nested tuples. This is an example where toppers is the tuple variable and this is the outer tuple. Within this tuple, we have stored details of 3 different students and we are trying to find the toppers. And this is the first tuple, second tuple and third tuple. All these 3 tuples are enclosed within the outer tuple. Now let us iterate and display the tuple elements in different lines. For I in toppers, so toppers is a tuple variable, and if you give I, for the first time this loop iterates, it will not take only the single element A, rather it will take this entire element. This will be treated as toppers of 0 and this entire tuple will be treated as toppers of 1 and this will be treated as toppers of 2. This is how this will be iterated, and the first time it displays the first tuple, first inner tuple, and the next time it will display the second inner tuple. Likewise, all the elements can be nested and also displayed. Suppose if you want to access the elements like this, toppers of 0, that will also be displayed. So you will get the elements using this index position. Indexing is perfectly allowed in tuples. And moreover, you can use some inbuilt functions. Divmod is a function which gives you the quotient and remainder when you are trying to divide a number by another number. 10 by 5 will be divided, and normally if you give just slash 10/5, it will give you the quotient, and if you give 10 mod 5 you will get the remainder. If you want both quotient and remainder, then you have to use the inbuilt function divmod. This divmod function will return 2 values, quotient and remainder. You can store that in 2 different values, 2 different variables q and r, and if you now execute this statement, you will have the output as 2, 0. This will be again treated as 2 different variables, so q and r. And another example, suppose if you have created a tuple like this and given this tuple as an input to this divmod function, let us see how this works. This will give you a type error because divmod function usually takes two arguments, but here you have given only one argument. Even though two values 50 and 4 are present, they are together integrated as a single variable called tube, and you cannot pass this single argument into this divmod function, and hence there is a type error in this example. And let us see how this slicing everything operation can be done. We have a tuple with 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10, and if you just print T, you will have all the elements displayed. And T of within this square bracket, that is slicing operation, colon. We have not given the starting position and also the ending position. Just like list, you can just give the indexing without the positions also. In this case, all the elements in this tuple will be displayed. And if you want to display only some specific elements, you can display like this: T of 4 colon 7. That means from the 4th index position till 6th position, 7 will be excluded. So till 6th position you will have the elements. So this will be T of 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5 is stored in T of 4. So T of 4, T of 5 and T of 6. You will have these three elements displayed in the output, and T of 7 will not be displayed. And T colon 4. Now we have not specified the beginning index position, but we have specified the last index position. So from the beginning till the 3rd index position, all the elements will be displayed. That means T of 0, T of 1, 2 and 3. We have these 4 elements displayed in the output. We all know that tuples cannot be modified, but we can concatenate and create a new tuple with the concatenated elements. T1 contains these elements, T2 contains this element. So T3 equal to T1 plus T2. This statement will concatenate both tuples and create a new tuple. But you cannot modify any elements in either T1 or T2. But you can concatenate and store it in a new tuple. That is possible. And if you want to delete the entire tuple, you can delete. You cannot modify any element, but you can delete the entire tuple. And let us see how this is run. So now this is deleted, and if you just try to display this T1, let us see what happens. Now this, after deletion, this T1 is not available, and hence name T1 is not defined. Name error is shown. And another important function, zip. Zip is a function which is used to combine or bundle together two lists, tuples or anything. More than n number of lists or tuples can be combined. Here 1, 2. First you have a tuple, then you have a list. Now we are going to zip both these list and tuple. See how it works. And after this, if we have displaying, we have this output. So 1, 2 is in the first tuple, and then we have this 3, 4. What happens here? Element of this tuple is combined with first element of this tuple. So you have this 1, 3. Next, second element of the tuple is combined with second element of this list, 2, 4. And finally, both these are zipped and stored in the variable A. And now we have displayed this as a list. We have converted this into list, and afterwards we are displaying. Suppose if you are just displaying without converting into list, this will be the output. Suppose if we have just displayed this, you have this zip object. You cannot see the value, but you can see that an object is being created. If you want to count the index position of a particular element, you can specify like this: tuple name dot index of, within the parenthesis you can give the element that you want to find the corresponding index. Let us see how it works. So it is present in the index position 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 is present in this position. And T dot count of 5. This statement will display you the number of times this particular element 5 has occurred. And if you have given this as 12, this 12 is not present in this particular tuple, so it will display it as 0. And if we have given this as 12 and again we have this 2, now the count of this statement will be 2 because 12 has occurred for 2 times in the given tuple. and you can assign multiple variables with multiple values in a single statement. A comma B comma C equal to 100, 200 and 300. See, on the right hand side we have combined together as a tuple and assigned to 3 different variables, and we have displayed the values. Let us see how it works. So all these are treated as 3 different variables and we have displayed the values. And in the second statement, T1 equal to 200, 300, 400. Now we have assigned these 3 values to a single variable, and after this we are displaying. In this case, it is treated as a tuple. We can see the difference. If we assign 3 different values to 3 different variables, they will be treated as separate variables. And if we assign 3 different values to a single variable, this variable will be considered as a tuple. And another case, ABC equal to T1. This is called as tuple unpacking. Already we have created a tuple with 3 values, and now we are trying to extract or separate or unpack these tuple into 3 different variables. A, B, C. So 200 gets stored in the variable A, 300 in the variable B and 400 in the variable C. This is called as tuple unpacking. And suppose if you want to display the element index position, then you can display like this. RAM 2, 3. So this is the tuple that we have already created, and T1 dot index of RAM. This will give you the index position. It is stored in the index position 0. T1 of 0 has RAM. Next, T1 dot index of 6. 6 is stored in the index position 5. And if you want to sort the elements in the tuple, then it can be done simply using this sorter. You cannot sort the elements and store back in the tuple, but in the console output window, you can have the sorted output. So all the elements are sorted and it is displayed, but now the result will be in the list format. After sorting, it will be in list format. And if you want to search for a particular element, here in this case, we are searching for whether this element 2 is present in this tuple. 2 in T1. It is already present and hence 2 is displayed. Suppose if you are giving 32, 32 is not present in this and it will return false. And we can format the output that we obtain using this tuple. We have a tuple like this and Meena 89 9.0. And now if I want to display like this, this percentage yes got percentage D marks with aggregate of this 0.2f. We all know that percentage yes is used for displaying a string, percentage D for integer and percentage f for float. And if we need only 2 decimal values, only 2 digits after the decimal point, we can specify this. In this case, only 2 digits are needed after the decimal point, so we have given 0.2f. And whenever we are giving string formatting, it has to be enclosed within this double quotation followed by percentage symbol. We should not give comma after this as we normally do. First, we should close this double quotation, then start the percentage symbol, and all the arguments should be again enclosed within this parenthesis. So tuple 1 of 0. Tuple 1 of 0 refers to this percentage yes. It will get Meena, and let us see how the output looks like. Meena got 89 marks with aggregate of 9.0, and tuple 1 is an integer which takes the value 89, and tuple 1 of 2. For this we have given percentage 0.2f, so this 9.0 will be taken and it is formatted. So likewise we can format the outputs.